Okay guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about what to avoid when you do the head spin. So I already did tutorial on head spin, and basically I will to talk today not really how to do it because I already explained this, but more or less what you should avoid when practicing head spin. Maybe you didn't see my tutorial and learned it another way, and that's why we're going to talk about this. So for me personally, I learned it sort of the wrong way. It's not really wrong. But basically, the way I learned it is basically you needlessly suffer in the long run, right? So let's talk about that real quick. So the first thing, there are some things you should avoid when practicing your head spins as a beginner, or even as you can already do the head spin, but you struggle with some certain things that we'll explain now. So the first one is you should not whip the legs. Whipping the legs, basically what will happen, because you whip them, you will get a scissor in your body. So just showing you real quick, my legs whips, see that? And as you can see, right now, I'm in that scissor position. And the problem with this position, that's actually the bicycle position, by the way. The bicycle position, that's tip number 2, you should avoid this. Now, why would we avoid the bicycle position? It's very simple, guys. If your standard head spin, or the way you learn the head spin is the bicycle position, a lot of positions become needlessly hard for you. So that's actually the reason we avoid whipping the legs, and that's also the reason why we avoid doing the bicycle. So the only one that's really actually a great position from the head spin is the head spin drill. So if you do the bicycle, you can easily go to the head spin drill as you have the head spin drill down, but the other moves all becomes very, very hard. And in my opinion, with very little practice, if you master the head spin already, you can learn the bicycle. That's really not that hard, especially if you can do some other positions, right? So instead of doing that, you need to try to focus on keeping your legs still when you do these steps, right? And actually also keep your legs angled like I just showed you. So this is the really important, because if you learn it like this, all positions become easy. And trust me, I know a lot of people, myself included, who learned head spin totally the other way. I learned it by whipping very hard and trying to tap as fast as I can. I think I skipped even tapping. I just whipped as hard as I can and tried to spin without hands, right? And then you get that bicycle, and it becomes incredibly hard to learn those other shapes, because your hip is up like this. To do a different shape, in your head spin, you have to tilt your hip down before you can do the next shape, whatever it is, right? And this is really hard. It's needlessly hard, actually. So my tip is don't swing the legs. You will learn this later, right? Once you have the head spin down, try to just swing the legs. It's not that hard, right? It's also better, actually, if you don't learn to swing the legs for the combos with other power moves. If you learn to swing the legs to whip your head spin in, the combos with other power moves sort of messed up, because you need this weird scissor swing, basically. You want to avoid that. If your swing is exactly like a windmill, that's fine actually, because your legs stay open, but still I avoid, as I say, man, avoid this as you practice it as a beginner, right? Then, focus on keeping the hip down as you practice, and then the good thing, if you get done, you get this little chair head spin like this, right? And if you can do it like that, the good thing is all those hard shapes become quite easy for you, right? You have the right shape to do all kinds of moves. If you have the scissor shapes, well, for the people who already have the head spin like that, they actually know what I mean. The other moves become very hard. Try to avoid those moves. So there's a couple of more things you can avoid, like for instance for a beginner, try to go very slow, guys. So if you struggle with head spin, it's very simple. You go way too fast for what you can do. Another thing is, man, practice that damn head balance, please. Because if you don't have the head balance, like this is something a lot of people just too stubborn to practice, but if you don't have the head balance, how will you spin, right? You cannot stand on your head. So practice on this too, just at least a little bit. If you do it daily, it becomes fast, right? So that's more tips for beginners, but this is just want to say what you should avoid as you practice head spin. Now, when you're one of those people like me that actually learned head spin the other way around, you can simply buckle down and train a fuckload of head spin, right? and basically improve your head spin, improve your head spin. At some point you will get all those head spin, but why needlessly suffer? You're actually almost better off relearning your head spin in the correct manner. It will come quite fast because you can already head spin. You know how to do it, right? So that's my tip, guys. Don't, if you can already head spin and you have the bicycle position, or you learned it with whipping very hard with the legs, I suggest almost relearning it with straight legs. If you're still struggling with the head spin, try to go very slow, by the way. And you know, not swing the leg, just very slow, very slow. The faster you go, the worse it is actually, but don't slow down, right? Just keep the same tempo and try to do 1,000,000 rounds like that. That's actually what you want. And then of course work on head balance. And from this position, this angle position, those shapes become more easy. If this is your standard position, like this one's more easy, this one's more easy. And actually, to be honest, you can just practice your head spin drill or even your bicycle shape, which is almost the same principle, just as a separate move. So let's say this is my tap and I want to do a bicycle. I can just practice doing the bicycle like that. So tap, 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 bicycle, right? And you get the bicycle for free. But in the beginning, I suggest against it. So guys, be mindful of this. If you don't, like, man, I know so many people who have head spin like me, basically. Like, I did too back in the day. I was also stupid like that and got it the wrong way, sort of, right? Yeah, you can head spin, that's a good thing, right? But you got a wrong shape. Work on this, and I'll see you next time.